We are at ComoCamp 2025. I'm joined by Michael Plöd. Michael, welcome again.
Thank you.
We had a conversation last year that was taped. I think it's not yet published, but it's going to happen soon. And I watched it recently. And towards the end, you said you should buy your ticket to ComoCamp 2025 right now because I'm sure it's going to sell out soon.
I was right.
Yes, you're a visionary. You are my hero. Since then, you are my hero. You did a session on context mapping yesterday, a workshop actually. Why do we care about bounded contexts, or do we care about bounded contexts in a world where AI generates the code?
That's a good question. And I think, yes, we should care about bounded contexts.
Okay.
But I would like to take on a broader scope. We should care about boundaries in general. Yeah, I think in an area where AI creates code, we need crystal clear boundaries. Yeah? Boundaries that reduce the blast level of things going wrong. Mm-hmm. Boundaries where we can replace things in a fast-paced fashion. And I think the pace of delivery in an AI landscape may increase. And so having crystal clear boundaries is a very, very important prerequisite. In terms of the bounded context, I had quite a few conversations throughout the last weeks with various folks. I'm not so sure if we're not overusing this term a little bit. Yeah, because what is a bounded context? A bounded context is a boundary around a model in a consistent language which is tailored to a specific purpose. Do we tailor models to a specific purpose with vibe coding? I'm not so sure about that. Maybe something like vibe modeling comes up.
I think
I'm not so sure about this, but
I think we'll end up tailoring the problems to the solutions that we vibe coded.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, but I would say the short answer to your question is yes. And we need crystal clear boundaries, and I think the boundaries need to be more precise than ever. Okay. Especially in an AI landscape.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, or in your mental model, what is the relation of a bounded context, or of bounded contexts, or a context map with software architecture?
Well, the initial idea of the context map was to model relationships between bounded contexts. Yeah. I have to say I've gone away from that. With context maps, I'm very often visualize and discuss relationships between whole systems, between modules that may correlate to bounded context, but maybe they don't. And I think with software architecture, we have a bunch of drivers. Yeah? We have functional requirements, we have quality requirements, we have circumstances, and we have regulations. And I think the scope in which software architectures are run today is shifting over time. Gregor Hoppe very often says it's a shift from economies of scale to economies of speed. And in order to optimize for economies of speed, or like the Team Topologies folks say, for fast flow, we need to understand the socio-technical dynamics of the system and what shapes an architecture, what shapes requirements. And I think in context maps, there are a bunch of very interesting patterns with which we can visualize, name, and discuss certain dynamics that are in place in such an area.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, and thank you for sharing with ComoCamp.
Thank you so much. See you next year.
I hope to.
We need a date.